Hello, hello. Welcome back. We got Donnie here from Passover Listings. Hope everyone is well and thinking Pesach. That's all we think about. The countdown is coming. A couple months left. We are going to have a wonderful, wonderful guest appearance here who's going to be joining right about now. And it's going to be Bruce Backman from Pesach in the Southeast. So if you guys are interested in hearing more about Pesach, and there he is. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Donnie? How
I'm
you
good.
doing?
I'm good. Thanks for jumping on and joining our
Of
live right
course,
here.
my pleasure. It's always nice to see you in person, virtually.
Same here. Same
Great.
here. Yes, I know.
Let me
These
get the
days,
video better.
that's a
Okay, this
treat.
is good.
Perfect. So before we begin, just to tell everybody, right, and everybody knows, this is going to be, I think, one of the first Instagram lives where when we're talking to an operator who's actually already sold out. So, Pesach in the Southeast is sold out. If you guys are looking into them, there's a wait list currently,
There
right?
is a wait list,
Okay,
yes.
so if you guys
We're keeping a wait list for first days, last days, and the whole Yom
got
Tov. But we're sold
got
out
it,
for the entire holiday as of now, the whole Pesach.
got it. Okay. So if you guys are interested, you go check them out on Passover listings or on their website as well. There is a wait list, and you can take a peek. Um, so Bruce, you've been in this industry for how long nowadays? I mean, this has been one of long.
14, 15 years.
And you started out where? Which location? Was it the Northeast, the
I
Southeast?
started in the Northeast in Vermont, and then moved all around Vermont, New England, um, Washington for quite a while, and then after COVID, we went south, and I've stayed there
And and
since.
why haven't you ever, for someone who's been as long as you in the industry,
Mhm.
15 years, I mean, you never thought about maybe West Coast, right? Always Southeast and Northeast. What was your reason?
No, it's challenging to find a hotel.
Right.
I think anybody in the industry would tell you that getting hotels is not as easy as it was 10 or 15 years ago.
Right. Why is
There's a
that, by
lot
the
of
way?
the
Let's hone on that
real
because I think that's one of the
reason,
biggest.
or I mean, it's a hard industry for hotels. It's really difficult for hotels. Pesach operators move in. They need a lot of lead time. The lead time means that it makes it difficult for the hotels to book groups on the way in, and then the moving out takes a little time. Also, makes it hard to move on the way out.
Hmm.
It disrupts the standard operating procedures of a regular non-Jewish, non-kosher hotel. So hotels have to, I always say, they have to really want the business to
Right.
take it. I
Do
mean, there are
hotels
people,
lose?
yeah.
Do they lose money? Do the hotels
No,
lose money here, or are they actually happy
no.
with
I
this
mean, in
situation?
my case, they're not. I mean, can a hotel lose money? Sure. But
Mhm.
in theory, they're not. When they take the program, the goal isn't to lose money. They make a decision that, it's more lucrative.
Right.
Remember, the Passover business, I have a line I tell a lot of hotels when I'm meeting them for the first time.
Hmm.
I say it's a great piece of business if it works for
Hmm.
you. In exchange for all the stuff leading in and leading out, we
Hmm.
do essentially buy out your entire hotel for
Right.
10 nights. I guarantee a sellout. And when you guarantee a sellout for a hotel, the occupancy and the room pickup is so significant that they're like, okay, what do we have to do to make it work for you? Kitchen move-in dates, the use of meeting space, the sheer number of, I got an email today about, this is how many rollaways we have. This is how many cribs we have. You're going to have to rent. I just want you to know what your baselines are. I
Yeah.
mean, most non-Jewish groups don't ever have, one in every 5 rooms with a rollaway bed or a crib, or one in every 4. I
Hmm.
mean, most hotels of 300 rooms can
How
survive
how
on
many?
5 to 6 rollaways and 8 cribs for years without until the Jews show up,
Right.
until the Jewish group rolls in.
How many hotels do you look at every year before choosing a hotel? And obviously,
We're always looking.
you're always looking.
And if I find something, and if I find something that a lot of hotels reach out to me. I have a broker I work with for many years,
Yeah.
and who I have a great relationship with, and we're always looking for hotels. And she'll call me and say, this hotel
Yeah.
called, they want to do
Hmm.
Pesach. I said, it's not for you. And then I'm like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Call my friend, this colleague, that colleague. I call operators all the time
Yeah.
who are either in other markets, and I say, you may want to look at this. I'm not taking it, not because there's anything wrong with it. It's not really what I want. It's maybe out of my budget. It's too low end. It's too high end.
Hmm.
but maybe you want to take a look at
Yeah.
it. And I speak to operators regularly about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do you find when you speak to the hotel about Passover for the first time, do they get it, or is there a lot of explanation that goes into it? Because there's a lot of nuances that they probably haven't dealt with, especially the first year hotels, right?
I
That
mean, a first year hotel, I have a very long and extensive RFP that has pretty much every detail down to like tissue in the public bathrooms in writing and listed by
hmm
date. So hotels, when they take the group, sometimes it's
hmm
scary. I try to scare them while not scaring them at the same
hmm
time. The worst thing in the world you could do is go to a hotel who says, yeah, yeah, I got it.
hmm
And then you roll into town and they don't got it. And then all of
hmm
a sudden you're in panic mode. But at
hmm
the same time, I mean, I consider myself a professional
hmm
and I try to be honest. And, if the hotels listen to me and they work with me, things are going to work. We're going to make it work.
Right,
But I have to sense that they have an eagerness to listen to me.
right,
Like if they're going to start telling me how to run things on my end, you know, I'm open to ideas. But at the end of the day, I tell hotels this all the time. I know better. Like you have to trust me. I'm not doing this to I want to hurt you. You have to listen to me. I'm giving you good advice. It will work better if you
right.
do this my way. I'll give you an example. Bellman. There are hotels I've been to where they staff Bellman every day, even though I only have checkouts on 3 days of Yom Tif.
hmm
I've told them for years, give the Bellman off.
hmm
Bring me all the Bellman on the first day. Bring me all the Bellman on the heavy checkout days
hmm
midday. And then on Yom Tif, when no one's checking out, give them off because on those heavy days, I need everybody here. I don't need you saying, well, that's how we staff the hotel when we're sold out. You have to listen to me. Like,
Right,
I'm telling you this, it's for your benefit also. It's
right,
only going to make your life easier.
right, right. That makes sense. And I mean, you've kind of been around the block and seen programs that have been around just as long as you.
Or
You've seen
longer.
programs that, yeah, 12, 13, 14, programs have been around 20, 30 years. You've also seen programs that have been around for 1 year and stopped. People are looking now. They're always booking. You're sold out, so, is a wait list. But for those who are looking still,
Mm-hmm.
what recommendations can you give? The average, Pesach traveler, like,
I
in
think
terms
I
of,
think I think most operators, there's a new program. There's a guy, Tesla. He used to do a program. He was in my hotel, but once upon a time. But he just opened up a program in Phoenix. The hotel's very nice. I'm sure he has availability because he just launched it. And people looking should know that he's a pretty experienced guy. He's been doing Pesach at least 10 years.
yeah,
I would encourage people to look at him if they're still looking for something in the country. I haven't seen him advertise much, but it's nice to give him a plug because I think there's still people looking for warm weather destinations, and it's a branded hotel. It's a
yeah,
Sheraton, so it's like you know what you're getting.
right.
And I think that I know a little about it because it changed hands from groups,
hmm
but he still has space.
Yeah,
I always say to go with more experienced operators. Doesn't mean that the new operators aren't good.
yeah.
I
I
have
mean,
a friend,
last year there
Schneer
were,
Weinberg. He has a program now in Tucson, also in Arizona. There's
hmm
two really good programs in
yeah,
Arizona, which I don't know how booked they are, but I mean, those are good options for people that are looking. I think
absolutely.
Schneer's a little bit more modern, and I think he caters to a more, I wouldn't say modern, let's say a more mixed crowd.
hmm
Tesla's probably more a little to the right, but
hmm
these are both experienced operators. You
Yeah,
know,
I feel like I
I
think
like
I think you're absolutely right.
everybody to fill up. I mean, everybody has
Absolutely,
a family to feed.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, from your experience, right? You have how many people are on your program every year, typically?
Between 900 and 1050. This year we're about 910.
Nine, 10.
910.
So
No,
how
my
many
kids
how
just
many
shut up.
how many people would you say go away for Pesach for what reason? Do they go away to your program for the food? Do they go away for the
We're
the
known
people? Do they
for
go away?
having very good food. I'm a bit of a foodie. I'm very particular in terms of the quality of the
hmm
products I buy. Everything from produce to meat to fish. I'm very discriminating.
hmm
I think people come for food. I think my kids programming is excellent. I think my programming in general is excellent. I'm very
What
good at
makes
serving large families.
a, what makes a good kids program from not a good kids program from your
The
perspective?
willingness to spend money on activities. You can't just
Mhm.
rely on counselors
I,
and babysitting. There
I see.
has to be constant. I mean, there are some hotels that are built for this stuff, where they have the pools and they have the grounds and the playgrounds.
hmm
And in the case of like the Turnberry program, he's got a water park.
hmm
Or some hotels have stuff like that, which is like wow for kids.
Yeah.
But in a hotel like mine, I have to spend, and I do.
Hmm.
We bring things to the hotel, so every day is exciting for the kids.
Right.
You can't expect kids to just go into like a babysitting room. I don't care how good the games are. You really have to invest in it.
Yeah.
And I think that makes for a good program. Some hotels programs in their credit don't have to spend on that. Like
Right.
if you're in the Lasco program and you have that beautiful water park in Aventura, I mean, that's
Yeah.
going to keep the kids
Yeah.
busy most days.
Yeah.
Most people don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they're going to have to supplement
Right.
with stuff, but we have a budget for it, and we spend a lot of money on it. I mean, I really put money that I put my money where my mouth is on
And
it.
I think the other thing about this, I don't know if you agree with it, is the organization, right? The kids program, having people who are, truly on top, um, and making sure they know where the kids are at all times, I think is very important too. I've
we we
heard, stories.
we have we have a great kids program. We have a great kids
Hmm.
director. We're very discriminating hiring staff. We have a lot of staff.
Hmm.
I'm staffing with teens directors. I mean, and then I hire local staff sometimes to assist with babies and infants.
Hmm.
Sometimes we'll leave. I'll hire actual people who work in Jewish
Hmm.
preschools within a half an hour's drive, and those kinds of people,
Hmm.
or if we're able to get them to assist in kids in the infants in the nursery. But I have a children's staff that's in the mid 20s, 20 to 30 people.
Interesting. And
We're
who are
staffing
you?
kids at a ratio of almost like 1 to 8,
Right.
1 to 10, which is high.
Right.
That's it's high, but it's also for safety. There's a lot of reasons for
Hmm.
it.
I agree. Yeah. Who are you having for the programming entertainment this year? You're
So
having a lot of people come.
we have
Yeah.
speakers. We have Rabbi Simon Jacobson is coming,
Hmm.
who's been with me for many years. We have Rabbi Yoel Gold, who we
You'll.
love having. He was with us last
Hmm.
year. He's a big star. Honey Applebaum,
Oh.
busy in Brooklyn, is going to be
Oh,
with us
very
this
nice.
year. Rabbi Jacobson's wife Shandy is going to be with us.
Hmm.
Yoni Fine is a new addition.
Mm.
He's the principal of Maimonides in Hollywood, Florida,
Oh.
and he's
Okay.
going to be joining us as a speaker as well. And
Okay.
then I have some guests who are going to be contributing. There's a management consultant, Aria Blumenthal,
Uh-huh.
who's going to be giving some seminars on Cholamoid. I have a a psychologist from Israel who comes to me every year who deals with addiction and family
Very
issues,
nice.
Sanford Landa. So, I mean, we have a pretty full program. And then singers, we have Baruch Levine, we
Hmm.
have Ellie
Hmm.
Marcus, and then I have a mentalist um, a new mentalist who moved here from South
Oh,
Africa,
wow.
who's going to be with us at the beginning of Yom Tov. And I'm still looking to add stuff along the way, but
What about
it's a
is
work in progress.
fitness and dance important
We do
in there? Like is
fitness and dance, but I usually hire through local companies.
right.
I don't just have I
Yeah.
don't barter
Right.
that stuff. I'll
Right.
normally
Right.
reach
Right.
out to a company and they'll staff it with someone to do yoga, someone to do walks,
Right.
someone to do hikes,
Very nice.
someone who does Zumba. And then for men, we try to do things because some of those things are because men and women we
Yeah.
separate. In some cases, depending on what it is,
Yeah.
we also hire someone normally to do martial arts
Oh.
for men.
Oh. Okay.
So,
Very nice.
so we try to vary it based on that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But we
Yeah.
have a lot of programming and we bring a lot of stuff in. And we keep people busy.
Right.
My
That's
guests are they're very
yeah.
happy guests for the most part. I
Yeah.
mean, I always say, it's a joke. My wife and I joke. I say it's a great program. You get more than you paid for, literally. I mean, we give a lot. So, we want
But
our
I
guests.
still I still remember the story I think you told me last time. This might have been last year,
What?
where a lot of the guests they wanted milk in the there was a lot of milk in the main room because they couldn't get milk, and so you put a fridge full of
Yeah, we
milk
have
in the lobby.
that's for
Right.
years we've been doing that
Right.
because it was always a headache to go get milk in the middle
Right.
of meat meals. So we have a milk fridge that's in a separate part of the hotel by the
Yeah.
front desk, and it gets refilled every morning with the small 8-ounce
Right.
bottles from either Golden Flow or I wouldn't say Golden. I don't whoever I'm buying milk from that for that year. Part of
Got
the
it.
farm, Golden Flow, fresh and healthy. But yeah,
Yeah.
one of
No.
the
Just it goes.
three Chalav Israel brands.
Yeah.
No, but those little
It goes to show.
things mean something.
Yeah. I was
We're
gonna
very
say it goes.
careful with that.
Yeah.
We're
Look,
also very
you
generous.
want to. You cater to what's nice about it is you cater to every person, and it's nice to um, be custom and accommodate as much as you can, right? So that's the big reason why people keep coming back.
Sure.
Um,
I
you
think
know,
people come back. I mean, I think they know what they're getting. I think they know I stand behind my product. I take a lot of pride in what I do. Um, you know, there's a lot of cost cuttings. I'm sure I could save a lot of money, and it's a joke with some of my staffs. Like he's not going to cut. He's just not going to cut it. Like imported meat is a big one.
oh,
I'm a stickler for only buying American beef.
mm,
American beef is prohibitively expensive, but I only buy it. I think it's better. And it's 1 week a year, and I just don't think that's a place worth
right,
buying, even though it's getting more and more and more expensive.
right,
It's getting
right, right.
incredibly expensive, unfortunately. But we buy American beef, we buy American veal. We're really trying to
Has
buy the
has
best
food
products we can.
costs has food costs gone up
Yes.
from last year significantly?
I haven't seen bills yet, but my understanding is yes. Not everything, but overall it is increasing.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. Very nice. I think the last question I have for you, then we'll end this now, is in a minute, is I always like to end with something, a story, that over the years that you have had from somebody that that's just kind of shows a little bit about your program and kind of what it offers. But any inspirational, any fun stories around Pesach that you can remember over the years that kind of hit home or kind of you took to heart.
I mean, that's complex. There's so many. I mean, we have a lot of positive impacts on families who come. I mean, what stories could I say? I mean, the shidduchim have been made in the programs.
Oh wow,
Business relationships have been made. People have found jobs in the program, meeting people at Kiddush.
wow.
But an inspirational story. Second, let me go. My kids have decided to take
Oh,
over the
okay.
house. No, it's okay. It's just I can't hear
Yeah,
myself think. Um, so no, inspirational stories. Uh,
yeah. I mean, those are good.
uh,
The shidduchim. That's pretty cool. Shidduchim
no,
and
but
this.
I mean, we take a lot of families. We take a lot of families in the program who, I know a lot about the families who come to us,
Mhm.
and I always say there's different kinds of families in the program. You have families who save up all year. This is like I really believe this, and this is like their one vacation. Their kids are out of school. Mom and dad work. It's really hard for them to make Pesach. They scrimp and save so they could go away. They squash into one room, mom, dad, two kids, and let's say a baby. And they drive to the hotel in some cases if the tickets are
Mhm.
expensive. And this is their one
Mhm.
trip. And I want to make, and then I have families who are very large families with large budgets, and they have a lot of money, Baruch Hashem, and they're able to go away and take away large extended families,
Mhm.
and they're all kind of in the hotel together, and they're all equally important to me because I value them. Every time somebody books with me, I'm very flattered
Yeah.
because I know there's a lot of places they can spend money. There's a lot of things they can do with their money, and they come here. And there are people who've come to me after Pesach repeatedly and said, you've really exceeded our expectations because this means a lot to us. This was a simcha. My wife, I had a guest once. Somebody was ill and was going through treatments, and they needed to be in the hotel because it was in proximity to a medical clinic where they were getting treatments,
Right.
and we hosted them. And it was a partnership I had actually with Chai Lifeline years ago at one of those cases, and 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 we take those people as guests, obviously, and they're there for circumstances which aren't always happy, and we're able to make this an incredible
Amazing.
experience for them.
That's
And we
amazing.
and we we loved that stuff. I love. I always say this. It sounds silly, but we love all our guests, and it comes from it's top down. I mean, all of my employees who work with me understand how important that is to me. But
Right.
guests really come first.
Right. Right.
And I always say people spend a lot of money to be here. After you spend a lot of money, the worst feeling in the world is to go home and be
Right.
disappointed. So we won't let that happen. If I know of something that's not right, we try to fix it as quick as
Right.
possible. And sometimes things aren't right. I mean, sometimes your toilet could back up in your room at night, or sometimes you came to dinner really late and nobody told us you were coming late, and we stopped serving dinner.
Mhm.
And then caring for those people in those moments when I
Mhm.
miss dinner, I usually don't go to sleep in my program until all my guests are in bed. So I'll usually be in the lobby, and once I know
Wow.
everybody's in their room, then I'll go up.
Wow.
And then and the reason is because I want to. I don't like. I have to know that the place is
Yeah.
shut down. I don't wake up first in the morning, but all my staff knows is I close the hotel every night. I'm the last
Wow.
one to go
That
upstairs, minus the tea room staff who's there through the
that
night.
says something.
For
That's
years,
big. You know, I don't.
it's a known thing.
Wow.
So, if someone has a problem with something as like a
Right.
toilet, I
Right.
mean, I have plunged toilets for guests at 3 o'clock in the morning because there's no one else around.
Mm.
But I'm up. People know I'm around.
Right.
So I'm up. And then once I know that everybody's in their rooms and I hear the hotel's quiet, then I'll usually go to sleep.
Right.
Then I'll usually go to bed.
Nice.
But that'll usually be about between 2 and 2:30 in the morning most days.
Oh my
And anybody
gosh.
who works for me knows I don't do breakfast. Like,
Right.
I'm not up for breakfast.
Wow.
If I'm up for breakfast, that's insane. No, I'm not up for
Well,
breakfast.
listen, if
My
you're going
staff
to
knows
sleep
I'm not up for breakfast.
at 3 a.m. every night, I mean, yeah, I
Oh,
think
but
you
people,
deserve.
it's almost like you're the captain of the ship. I mean, there's all these
Right.
people. It's 900 people.
Yeah.
It's not just a
900 is
restaurant.
not
It's
a
not
small.
just a hotel.
Right.
It's 950, whatever the number.
Yeah.
They're spending a lot of money and they're depending on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And not everything all the time is going to be perfect. There are things that
Mhm.
go wrong in this business, but you have to be ready and willing and able to fix it. And I have to say that most operators that I'm in touch with, in all honesty, irrespective of what people say about the business, they have the same approach. They may not stay up to 2:30 in the morning,
Mhm.
but some of them are up at 6 a.m. making sure the shul is set up.
Yeah.
I have someone do that. I'm too tired.
Right.
Everybody has their things that they really throw into this program.
Right.
They really put their kishkas in, and
Yeah. No,
especially the
I
guys
think
who are
that.
doing it a long time.
Yeah. Look, it speaks wonders, right? Because look, at Passover listings, we run the largest review, site, the
Sure, of
review,
course.
Facebook group. We hear every year, your program, just the level of commitment and the level of really customizations for your guests and all the guests really loving, that program and kind of just showing that you really care. It speaks
We
wonders.
we
So,
we we
I
we
give you much
really
hustle.
really do care, and
Yeah.
I thank you
Which
for
is
what you do. You provide a place for people to look. But I want to plug. There are still programs in America. This Tesla
a lot of
program. I know
programs.
my friend Schneur Weinberg, and they
Yeah.
both have programs. So people still looking. It's
So a lot
important
of
that they
programs.
know about them. No, I
Absolutely.
think a lot of the other warmer programs by now. I mean, Ram and Lasco and Costa Rica. I think most of those are probably close to being sold out. But those two are a little bit newer, so
Yeah. Yeah.
people should know about them.
Guys, take a look.
Um, thank
PassoverListings.com. You can take a look at the
you.
site.
Thanks a lot,
There's
Donnie.
a lot
Keep
of
up the
stuff.
good
Passover
work. It's
program
always
reviews.
nice to see you
Yeah.
and
Thanks, Bruce.
hear
Thanks for
good
jumping
news.
on, and
Yeah,
we'll
I'm sorry my
yes.
kids were around, so I
No,
couldn't
it's
sit
fine.
out
We
in my
heard
house.
you loud
But
and clear. I
yeah,
hope
I
everyone was
appreciate
good.
it. Thanks
We'll
a
talk
lot. I
soon.
appreciate it.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
good night. You too. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.